Hey, what is up, guys? I'm back here with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a tracklist ranking for the new Sleep Token album, Even in Arcadia, which, as of the day I'm filming this, came out yesterday, May 9th, 2025. So if you're not familiar with Sleep Token, which if you're on this video right now, I'm sure you are, they're kind of a metal infused with like hip hop and like I don't really know how to describe them as a genre. They're kind of all over the place, and I think that's kind of what the fans like about the band the most, is they kind of combine like metal, hip hop, R&B, pop, um, a ton of different genres of music that shouldn't really go together, but for however they do it, they make them flow and sound really well together. So they're a very unique band that kind of blew up with their album released in May of 2023, Take Me Back to Eden, which is how I discovered the band. I thought that album was really, really good. And so I've been kind of a fan, mostly casual fan ever since then. But then when they started releasing singles for this album, I liked all the singles, and so I got excited. I was like, all right, I'll check out this album. And so I checked it out. I've heard it probably 5 or 6 times, and I thought it'd be fun to do a little ranking video to go along with it, to kind of share my thoughts and talk about this album that I thought was great. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, starting off with number 10, I have Past Self. I think a lot of people will really like this song. It's kind of very similar to Granite and Aqua Regia off of Take Me Back to Eden. It's kind of a slower hip-hop vibe with Vessel kind of, his voice seems a little more like dramatic. He enunciates a little bit more to go with the vibe, and I think it's cool. It's not one of my favorites. Those two that I mentioned on Take Me Back to Eden were also not two of my favorites on the album. I think it's still great. I mean, their songwriting's always good. Vocal performances are good. The instrumentation is great. It's just not a vibe that I particularly would choose for Sleep Token. I'm a huge metal fan, so I prefer when they kind of go heavy, like full band moments, and that this song doesn't really have any of that. So there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's still a good song. It's definitely my least favorite on this album because of that. And so yeah, number 10, I have Past Self. And for number 9, I have Dangerous, which the first half of this one is kind of similar to Past Self. It has the same kind of vibe of R&B a little bit. It's kind of, I don't really know how to describe it. It's just slower and kind of melancholy. It's really cool. But then in the second half, it kind of picks up and the full band comes in with the chorus, which I think is cool. The chorus melody for this one is not as effective as most of the other songs on here, at least for me. I'm sure some people will have this a lot higher because I think it is really cool. It has the kind of formulaic kind of structure that I like from Sleep Token the majority of the time. And I think this one's a great song. I like it quite a bit more than Past Self. So up until here, these are all songs I think are great. I think Past Self is good, but certainly not my favorite. But I think this one is cool how it kind of has the full band element come in for the heavier chorus. Although the chorus melody isn't my favorite, I think it's good. I don't think it's great. Yeah, I think it's a good song. Number 9, Dangerous. Now for my number 8, I have the title track, Even in Arcadia. You know, even when I first heard this song, when I was listening to the album in full, I kind of felt like this would be better as an album opener, just because I feel like it kind of has the same vibe in the beginning as Look to Windward, which is the actual album opener that we'll talk about later. I feel like it has the same vibe where it kind of starts off slow, but I like how the build kind of grows and grows, and then he keeps repeating the line, have you been waiting long, or something similar to that. And I just think, well, not only does this song fit the vibe of being an album opener, it's the title track, plus I feel like that would be kind of a cool phrase to be repeating when you're starting an album. You'd be like, oh, have you guys been waiting long? Like to hear this album because it's here. I don't know, for me, I think it's great. I think it's cool placement. I think it's cool placement on the album, but personally, I'd probably switch Even in Arcadia and Look to Windward, because coming after the song before it, I think the transition would be cool into Look to Windward, because I feel like the beginning of those songs are similar enough that it wouldn't mess up the flow of the album. And Look to Windward is a great album opener, nothing against that. I just feel like even In Arcadia would be kind of a cool, like, slow build-up to start an album. Maybe that's just me. I think that was what I was thinking when I listened to it the first time, but I think it's a really cool song. It's really beautiful and slow, and Vessel's vocals on it are amazing. So, yeah, my number 8. Even though for my number 7, I have Caramel, or Caramel, is how I would pronounce it, but in the song, he pronounces it Caramel. This was the second single they released from this album, and I thought this was a little weird when it came out. And I still think it's a little weird, but I think it's weird in a cool way. I like how the lyrics are like directly calling out the kind of diehard fans that are trying to like expose his identity. Like, these lyrics seem very personal from Vessel. And I love the chorus. The chorus of this song is awesome. Really, really unique melody for this one. Really unique. I feel like it kind of, at the beginning when it does it soft, I was a little questionable on the melody, and then it gets to the loud chorus, and it may change the chords. I don't know if the chords are the same. They probably are, but they're much louder and much more apparent in the mix, and I think that's really, really cool. And then the end where it gets really heavy, kind of with Vessel's black metal shrieks, which he does multiple times on this album, which I think is really cool. As you could probably tell, it's my least favorite of the singles, but I still think it's really, really good. I listened to this one quite a bit before the album came out. Yeah, and I think this one's really, really cool. I like the kind of music box intro, if you can call it that. It kind of feels like a ballerina, like, jewelry box, where you open it and there's like the ballerina spinning, and it's like, I don't know. It might be a xylophone. I assume it's a xylophone, but I think it's cool. It sounds like a music box. But yeah, I think the song's really, really good. Yeah, I think it's great. My number 7, Caramel. So for my number 6, I have Provider. You know, when I was making this ranking, I really wanted to put this one higher. Because the first time I heard this song, I wasn't crazy about it. Like, the first like minute and a half, I was like, okay, like, this sounds kind of like the rest of it. And then the chorus kicks in, and this is probably like a top 3 chorus on the album for me. I think it is so, so good. The chorus is amazing. It's so powerful. It kind of comes out of nowhere. And that's I love when Sleep Token does the full band moments, and this is one of the best examples of it on the album. And so I really, really wanted to put it higher, but the more I thought about it, the rest of the song is less interesting than the full length of the songs above it. But I think the chorus on this one is one of the best for sure. I think it's so, so good. The guitars just kill it in this track. They are so good. They're so powerful. I love the rhythms they play. Yeah, Provider, my number 6, really, really good song. My number 5 is the opening track, Look to Windward. I think this is a great introduction to the album. I think the beginning of the song is really cool. It has a weird atmosphere, kind of like another song I'll talk about in a minute. It kind of reminded me of Minecraft a little bit. The intro kind of reminded me of Minecraft, just the way the rhythms work and the chord changes, how it's a kind of unique chord progression, especially how at the end of the progression it goes up when you kind of wouldn't expect it to do that, at least for me. And so yeah, but I love the slow build of this song, the kind of 3 minutes where it's like slowly building up and then it just explodes. I also do love how this is kind of one of those Sleep Token songs that doesn't really have a chorus. It's just kind of everywhere. But you kind of forgive it for that because it doesn't really need a chorus, because it's constantly moving, it's constantly changing, it's constantly building to something higher. And yeah, this song's heavy, it is awesome, it's chunky, it's melodic, so good. And yeah, the vocals, especially at the beginning, are amazing. They're really, really cool, they're really intimate. The production on this album is amazing. I feel like they do really cool production choices with the guitars and drums specifically, but also with the vocal effects they use. But kind of on this song, the absence of vocal effects, it kind of is very effective in that way. And yeah, this song's really, really good way to open the album. Number 5, Look to Win. Number 4 is Gethsemane. This song This song is hard for me because I think it's amazing. Like, I don't think I've ever heard a song that is like this. It is so unique. It is so cool. I love the melody at the beginning. I love the lyrics. I love how heartbreaking kind of this story is, and you can tell Vessel has so much emotion singing this. Um, and then it goes into like that part reminiscent of Euclid where he starts singing and then the guitars go, dur, dur, the chords kind of come in after the phrase, which I think is awesome. And of course, Euclid is my favorite Sleep Token song. So, of course, I think that's really, really cool. I love how the emotion that kind of brings of the kind of delay chords. The one thing is, the second half is not my favorite. I really, really wish they had, they replayed that part with the melody and the heavy chords with when the full band comes in. I wish they did that as a chorus. So if they did that as a chorus, this would probably be number one instead of the kind of hip hop R&B style that they do in the second half, which is cool and unique in its own way, but that's not my favorite. I feel like Sleep Token does that a lot, and I know a lot of the time it works, but for me, I got so excited with that part that came in with the full band. I was like, oh, I want more. And then the whole song, I was kind of anticipating getting a full chorus with those chords, because those chords are so powerful and really good melodically, and so I was kind of anticipating that, and I was a little let down when it didn't happen. So if it had that chorus at the end, it would probably be number one, but since it doesn't, I have it at number 4 because I still think it's really, really good. But I was a little disappointed that they didn't decide to do that again, but that's just me. I bet most people would think it's perfect the way it is, and I think it was a really good song. So, number 4, Gethsemane. Now, my number 3 is Emergence. This was the lead single for the album, and I think this song is so good. I was a little hit or miss on it the first couple times I heard it, just because it feels like there's a lot going on in a 6 minute, what is it, like 6 minutes and 40 seconds, I think, time span. There's a lot going on. They go through a lot of phrases, a lot of different melodies, and also the repetition of "Go ahead and wrap your arms around me" is a little grating. At least I thought at first. I think it's cool now. I think it works well enough. However, the two different melodies that they use as choruses are both amazing. If you know the song, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're so good. I love when the full band moments come in on this song. It is so powerful. Just really good energy on this song. The vocals are amazing. The drums are good. The guitars are powerful as always. And that's my favorite kind of Sleep Token songwriting part, is when the full band comes in. It's powerful, it's emotional, because Vessel has the voice to kind of create those emotions. And then, of course, metal is my favorite genre, so when it kind of gets really heavy and his kind of operatic voice, it just mixes with it perfectly. I think it's so good. So yeah, my number 3, Emergent. For my number 2, I have Damocles. And this was the last single they released before they dropped the album. And when this single came out, I was pretty convinced that this would be the best song on the album. I was pretty convinced that no song would top this, because for me, this song is almost perfect. It is so good. I love the lyrics. They're super emotional, super personal, from Vessel kind of talking about how he's worried that he'll be forgotten. He's kind of worried about how to move on with his life. He's kind of worried about his position right now, and he doesn't fully know what to do. And I mean, I think that's relatable to everyone at some point in their life. They get worried, they don't know where to go. The lyrics are awesome. The piano's super cool. The chorus is amazing. Specifically, the second chorus might be my favorite moment on the album. I think it is so cool how the melody kind of stays. The melody's pretty low, and it stays kind of low key, and then the chords in the background just elevate it to such great heights. I think it is so good. And then the bridge is awesome. I mean, the whole song's just amazing. The only reason it's not number 1 is because I found a song that's better somehow, which shocked me, because I thought Damocles would for sure be the best song on the album when I heard it. Definitely was my favorite single and got me very, very excited for the album to come out. So yeah, my number 2 is Dammit. My number 1 pick for the best song on Even in Arcadia is the closing song, Infinite Baths. Now, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I believe this is the longest song that Sleep Token has done. It's almost 8.5 minutes, and boy, oh boy, is this song amazing. It is so good. I love how, this was the other song I was referring to when the intro kind of reminded me of Minecraft music a little bit, just like Look to Windward. I love the melody in the verse of this. I think it's so catchy. It's so effective, very emotional. And the chorus is so good. This might be the best chorus on the album. It's either this or Damocles for me is the best chorus. But this one, I love the kind of soft, where the synth is in the background, raising the first chorus, where it's really quiet. And then when I heard that, since this song comes right after Gethsemane, I was like, all right, they better repeat that chorus again, or I'm gonna start throwing hands, because it's that good. And then they repeated it again, and the whole band comes in, and it's just like ascending. It is floating in the air. It is so good. And then you go into this kind of like black metal section with like Vessel doing black metal shrieks and stuff, and it's heavy, and like the last 4 minutes are just brutal. They are some chunky riffs. There are some awesome progressive rhythms that they do with the guitars, and then it ends. My only complaint about this song is it ends with a fade out. I personally would have loved if they cut that riff short, about 30 seconds, and then did another chorus and then kind of ended it from the chorus. That's what I would choose, just because I love that chorus so much. I think it's so good. I would have loved to hear it again, but it repeats twice in the song, so it's great. I do kind of wish they ended it just like concretely instead of a fade out on that riff, because I feel like the riff goes on for a little long. They could have either shortened it a little bit or done something a little more after that. But yeah, I mean, I think this song's incredible. It is so good. It's probably a top 5 Sleep Token song of all time for me. Definitely top 5. Yeah, I think this song was so good and an excellent way to close the album. So my number 1 is Infinite Baths. Now that should do it for my tracklist ranking of Even in Arcadia. Let me know down below in the comments how much you liked this album. Let me know how you would rank the songs. What's your favorite? What's your least favorite? What's everywhere in the middle? I've heard a lot of people try and compare this to Take Me Back to Eden, and I think they're very different. Of course, I've only had this album for 1 day, so it's going to take a lot more time to kind of fully comprehend the comparison. But overall, I think Take Me Back to Eden is probably a better album. But I think this one's great. I don't think there's any need to compare. We got 2 great albums back to back from this album. In fact, all their albums are great. But for me, Take Me Back to Eden is the kind of highest standard they've achieved. But there's no need to compare them. I mean, they're both great. They're amazing. Just enjoy them for what we have. There's no need to compare them in a negative way, trying to say, oh, this one's not as good. Just enjoy the fact that we're getting great music from this band. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know how you thought of what your thoughts are on Even in Arcadia and Sleep Token, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.